Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Pressing Matters. I'm Scott. Thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for your support. Today, I'm going to be talking about a very special release from Intervention Records. It's called The Dance Music of Carl Perkins. You might be saying, I don't think I know any Carl Perkins music. You'd be mistaken. Unless you are living under a rock or you're quite young, you've heard the music of Carl Perkins. Maybe not the original tracks, but Carl Perkins was very influential on some of the biggest names in rock and roll. You've definitely heard Blue Suede Shoes by Elvis Presley. And if you're into the Beatles, you've heard Everyone's Trying to Be My Baby, Matchbox, Honey Don't, maybe even Sure to Fall, which was in the Decca audition. The Beatles were heavily influenced by these singles. And these singles were all compiled onto this album in the late 50s. Finding the original singles is nearly impossible, and they're probably not going to be in good shape, and they probably were pressed really, really poorly. And yeah, there's no point in trying to search out the original singles at this point. The original album, I looked on Discogs, and the original copies that came out in the late 50s are in the hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. I saw one that was sold for $1,750, I believe, $1,750 for this record. So that was the situation. It was always a very rare record and one that was desirable to anyone who was interested in the history of rock and roll. Sun Records kind of came to the rescue. I believe it was in 1981 and did a reissue of it like this. I got to hear this, and I'm going to tell you how this sounds compared to the Intervention release. The Intervention release is painstakingly done. Shane at Intervention did all the negotiations to get access to the Sun material, which is a hurdle in itself. But that was just the beginning. What was really difficult was finding the tracks. He went to Iron Mountain and worked with the team there, who were very cooperative in locating every possible tape of each song. So there could be multiple tapes for Blue Suede Shoes. Nobody knew which one was the original. It wasn't marked well. So once they had all the tracks assembled or together to audition that are going to appear on this album, they had to sit and listen to them. And they listened to each one until they were sure, or Shane was sure, that he had what was the best sounding version. Hopefully it's the master, but no one really knows. So that was the only way to get the best source. So all analog sources, the best choice among many for each track. From there, they carefully did a one-to-one transfer in order with sequencing and spacing to create a new master tape. That was the only way to get this done. From there, this master tape was brought over to Kevin Gray to cut at 45 RPM for the first time. It was pressed at Gotta Groove Records, and then the attention went into the jacket, which is beautiful. They really did a wonderful job with the jacket as well. How does it sound compared to the 1981? Well, it's unbelievably better than the 1981. Shane sent me the 1981 pressing so I could hear for myself the difference. I put that on first. I was listening to it. I was like, oh, this is, it's historical sounding. It's charming, kind of like a little distant, a little tinny, not much depth, not much anything, except a record of the basic sound of these tracks. I was like, okay, someone could enjoy this, I suppose, but if there was nothing else available. And for years, there was really nothing else available. Then I put on this. It's been totally transformed. It's not even close. Not even close. So much more clarity, so much more impact, dynamic feeling to it, which was come across as rather flat on the 1981 reissue. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, Intervention has a reputation for audiophile reissues. They've done some beautiful reissues. I just reviewed one, as a matter of fact, for Audiophilia. It was for Joan Armatrading, which has a strong audiophile reputation. But that's not all they're about. And, I think anyone going into this has to realize what they're dealing with, which is not audiophile material. It is early rockabilly, rock and roll, put out by Sun Records in the 1950s. So with that in mind, if you go to this, you're going to be treated to the best sounding versions of this that have ever been done, in my opinion. There's no way that the original Sun Records can sound as good as this. And it certainly leaves this in the dust. Leaves it in the dust. The record, let me show you how well they did this. It comes with a hype sticker like this. Here, I'm going to show it to you in close-up. Cut at 45 RPM. The program was short enough that they could do that. Look at how beautiful they did this label. I mean, it couldn't be better. It's just right. Record is heavy. Got a Groove is doing a great job pressing records for Intervention and other labels, including the original Definitive Sound series and Because Sound Matters. That's where I first got exposed to them, and I think they're doing a wonderful job. The record was silent and flat and perfect. The jacket, a lot of work went into this to get this to look exactly like the original. It took a lot of trial and error trying to get this blue exact. And the reproduction of every element looks perfect. The liner notes look perfect. The only difference here is Intervention and 100% analog, 1/4-inch flat transfer from the original master tapes. The record contains an insert here by Colin Escott, and it really illuminates what went into this in the history of this album. A beautiful addition to this. I think this is a really exciting project, and it's exciting for another reason too. Now that he has access to the Sun catalog, we're going to be getting a reissue of a Johnny Cash album that it's also extremely rare. I'll be covering it on the channel. I'll let you know everything about it in time. But in the meantime, this is a record that is definitely worth checking out. The dance music of Carl Perkins sounds and looks amazing today. And if you're at all interested in the history of rock and roll, you need to get this record. It's really, really well done. Congratulations to Intervention and to Shane over there. The effort was worth it. Absolutely. Until next time, I'm Scott for the Pressing Matters. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.